Shonen romance manga and anime holds a weird place in the collective conscious. To some viewers, they often aren't even viewed as shonen, like they must be seinen if they have a bunch of fan service, or shoujo if they don't. But there are, in fact, anime love stories marketed to young boys. During the North American manga boom that started in the late 90s and early 2000s, just as they did with josei manga, licensors would usually just market these to girls instead. And that's how, long ago, I became aware of Pita-Ten. The Pita-Ten manga started in 1999 in Japan, 2004 in North America, but there was also a 26-episode anime that aired in the spring of 2002, and because this isn't a manga channel, that's what we're looking at today. The beginning largely follows the manga, where a boy named Kotaro meets his new neighbor Misha, who's actually an angel in training. Yeah, it turns out angels here have to earn their status by studying, performing missions, and doing good deeds. It's an innocent harem setup with daily weird antics involving Misha as well as the other haremettes. Kotaro's hopelessly pining human friend, yes, those ears are fake, and a demon in training who always ends up doing more good than harm. I mentioned that the beginning of the show follows the manga. This gets less and less so later on. See, the manga was still going when the anime aired, and back in those days, shows didn't cut off or finish up an arc giving you hope for another season that may or may not come. They tried to conclude the whole story right there with original material. That practice annoyed manga readers, and a lot of shows that did it are looked down on for it today, though some still have their dedicated fans. Pita-Ten's anime dispensed with a lot of the things the manga's plot set up because the payoff hadn't come yet, so it really is just a coincidence that Kotaro ends up tangled up in Misha and Shia's missions, whereas in the manga, he turns out to have been the key to both of them since before he was born. The Pita-Ten anime is adorable, even if the animators have a few growing pains getting used to Koge Donbo's art style, and most of the story is episodic silly iyashikei. The show does have some cute focus on the girls becoming friends, as well as developing the conflicting crushes, and has some funny moments with Kotaro's male friends, because yes, those exist. The writing staff is a who's who from Enatsu Yuki, veteran of all things adorable, to tokusatsu legend Kobayashi Yasuko, to Sukihara Kenji, who wrote some of my favorite episodes of Umaru-chan and Sanrio Boys. But as I mentioned, as was the norm in those days, the anime doesn't exactly stick to the manga. Some things are removed due to broadcast restrictions, such as how they weren't allowed to portray underage drinking, but most was because the manga wasn't done yet. And while the manga had a lot of high-stakes drama, the anime simply doesn't. Which is fun if you like that stuff, disappointing if you wanted the drama bombs, and an awkward win-win for someone like me who loves melodrama but also loves cute things where nothing bad happens. Things that threaten to, or actually do, kill off characters in the manga just leave them a little worse for wear or miraculously saved in the anime, and vague spoilers here, the career versus man decision in the end goes the opposite way. Yes, these are elementary school students deciding their foreseeable future on their love lives, just go with it. While the manga was licensed by Tokyopop in the mid-2000s, and no longer is unless you import it from Australia, the anime actually had the opposite occur. It wasn't licensed anywhere in the Anglosphere, or anywhere outside Japan as far as I know, until Nozomi Entertainment picked it up in 2015. We actually almost got it twice before then. Once from Bandai Visual, who distributed it in Japan. And if you don't know Bandai Visual, think Aniplex pricing for 2-episode sub-only discs and no special features or merchandise. So yeah, we dodged a bullet. The second near license was Anime Nation, a now-defunct retail store that briefly licensed anime once, much like Right Stuff does today with Nozomi. Except Anime Nation couldn't afford too many licensing fees and only put out 3 shows that they could get for cheap, passing on Pita-Ten and other shows such as Berserk because of their higher licensing fees. The modern Nozomi release is a standard set of 5 DVDs, sub-only. It's okay, nothing to really go on about. You can also find it hard-subbed and watermarked in low def on their official YouTube channel. So the Pita-Ten anime is a cute, simple healing show that isn't anything special, but it's a fun distraction. It's also a good example of adaptation in anime and how different it is now than in the past. The animation gets kinda wonky at times, and it's a little weird how they took something super cutesy that goes full drama and lightened up that last half. But it makes sense in context and honestly works well with the visuals. Pita-Ten won't be for everyone, but check it out if what you see interests you. And let me know in the comments what older anime you want me to cover, keeping in mind that to qualify for an old school anime retrospective, if the show were a person, it would need to be old enough to drive. This is Secret Identity Studio, and thanks for 200 subscribers, everyone!